Good day or good evening, whatever time it is at the time you're watching this video. And I can't wait to see what Spirit has in store for this message, because the energy that I am feeling right now that is coming in is quite eccentric and hilarious, to be honest. Half of the shit that is being presented to me in my mind's eye, I cannot repeat because I don't want to get flagged. But you, my friend, are freaking hilarious. That's all I have to say. And you have a very sarcastic vibe about you, and kind of like this I don't give an F kind of attitude when it comes to what people think about you. So this is the energy that I am tapping into with Spirit as well. And we're just going to go ahead and grab some cards here and see what we get right off the bat. We have Earth and Meditate. Cards number 11, card number 40, cards number 11. Okay, interesting. And then we have Veiled with card number 38. Okay, so you're very grounded with this Earth card. Maybe grounding has something to do with it as well, because we have Meditate here. You're like a pro at earthing. You're a pro at this meditation in order to enter beyond what is veiled here, is what I'm hearing, what I'm picking up from these cards. I just heard you say, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah, I'm picking it up. I'm picking up what you're putting down here. I am. You are very great at exploring things that are in the unseen. And you have a very grounded approach to it. You're very down to earth, is what I'm hearing. And that's where this kind of sense of humor is coming from too, I believe. It's a very, very down to earth kind of like dry humor, you know, just very matter of fact. And you're saying, I got beamed down, speaking like beamed down to earth, so that you can see through. So you're seeing through something by being here on earth in the physical as well, and getting a different perspective on things. It almost kind of sounds like some spiritual, like, science experiment or something. It's like you volunteered to incarnate here because you're studying something and experimenting. It sounds very exciting. Let's go ahead and tap in to these energy cards and see if there's anything else. But yeah, you were beamed down in order to see through something, is what I heard you say, which I find very quite interesting. Perfect. We have 3 cards. You seem to know that I like to have 3 cards come out too. That's awesome. All right, we've got the Thinking Woman, card number 47. I'll try to get this silly phone of mine to focus. We've got the Door to Value. Hello? No. Okay, that's the best I can do. Card number 31. Money flowing. Money flowing through that red door. Red door might actually be significant to you as well. I know that there's some kind of, is it Chinese or Japanese beliefs? It's like the, what is it? Feng Shui? Feng Shui. Yeah, I think that's the one that where you have like the painted red door to bring in prosperity. And lastly, we have card number 21. See if I can, there we go. With Strategy. I like it. The Thinking Woman, Door to Value, and Strategy. That's kind of going right along the lines of this like experimental project that you purposefully incarnated here on Earth in order to do. Quite an interesting storyline here being presented in this day. And within the imagery of this strategy card, there is a journal. It's a log. It says right there. But I'm hearing that you are keeping records of something. You're journaling your experience here on Earth at this time. And you may very well actually use a quill to write, or like some kind of pen that kind of looks like a quill, but it's more of like a modern day pen, but it just like has the feather that looks like a quill, which is super cool. I totally want one of those, but I know that my cat would eat it, so for sure I would end up leaving it somewhere, and he'd be like, oh, it's payday. Yeah, door to value. That would be the door to value. Bless your soul, Sir Tai. Anyways, beamed down to earth in order to be able to see through something that is veiled, obviously. Having the ability to be able to see stuff that not your average human being can see is very key to this as well. And keeping a very, very intense record of your findings. And this is what's leading you to this door to value, I feel. Not only is the experiment you coming here and studying whatever you're studying, but these records, whatever you're keeping, is going to bring you to this prosperity vibe. It's going to bring you into a lot of material wealth. And somehow I feel like that is part of the plan here. You're not trying to gain the material wealth for just yourself either. There's like this whole plan for being able to come into this kind of money in order to further serve humanity itself. And for that, thank you. And now you're saying that you have to be in a meditative state in order to see the things that you are studying. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're, on a pillow on the ground, oming and laying down, with a blindfold on. Interesting that I said that there's a blindfold there. But you're constantly in a meditative state. There's this like on and off switch within your brain itself where you can kind of flip it on and instantly be in a meditative state, and then be able to broaden your awareness around you in order to see things that are unseen to those who are just in like autopilot, so to speak. I just heard the words New York Post, so that might be significant to you as well. I think that's like some kind of magazine or newspaper. Obviously, maybe. New York Post. Isn't that like a website where they like type up different news articles or something? I don't know. But New York Post, that's what I heard. And my eye has gone down to this woman in this card here. I'm going to try and show you guys. But you see way down there at the bottom, right here, she's actually holding a scroll in her hand right here that definitely looks a lot like this piece of journal paper that's being logged onto. Maybe something online has something to do with it, with that New York Post, and then I just said logged onto, and now it's taken my mind over to, internet posts or whatever. Stuff like that. A squirrel. There's also a song that is coming to mind right now with this door to value, and it's by an artist named Abel Hart. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not, but he has some great music out there where he actually used frequency within his music. But the song is called Money. And it goes along the lines of money flowing through me, money coming to me. It's a frequency, talks about that. So I'd recommend maybe going and listening to that song if you don't already know that song already. I feel like that song's going to be very significant for you at this point in time, because I'm feeling that all of this journaling and all this studying that you've been doing, it's getting ready to reach a pivotal point here where it can be utilized to start raking in the dough, so to speak. And also, within the title of the song, Abel Hart, he puts what frequency the song is at. I'm seeing outside right now, side note, the dandelion fluffs. I got the wind blowing, and I can see dandelion fluffs just like flowing past my doorway here. So that might be significant for you as well. They look like little wish fairies just bouncing around everywhere. But anyways, within the title of his song, he lists what frequencies he uses. And for this particular song I'm talking about, it's 888 frequency. So that frequency might also be significant to you or be of use to you. So if you don't go listen to that song, perhaps keep it in your mind's eye to listen to the 888 frequencies, you know, during your sleep, I'm hearing, or at least when you're starting to lay down at night to relax enough to go to sleep, is what I'm hearing. And along with the humor that you're sharing here within this energy, the reason why you have this ID gaff kind of attitude is because you can see things that other people can't. And it totally makes sense because, like, you know, you have full awareness of what you're doing here, who you are, you know, what your mission is. You know that things are here even though they're unseen. And ain't nobody going to be able to tell you different because you know, you actually have gnosis of these things. And so anybody can come at you and tell you otherwise. And I'm hearing flap their big mouth. They can flap their big mouth all they want. It ain't going to change, you know, what you hold within yourself. And there is this kind of energy where it does tend to become a little annoying at times, but you're really starting to, like, be able to get past the annoyance and understand that it's just the fact that people just, they don't get it because they've never seen what you've seen. They, you know, they just don't have an awareness of it. And that's bringing me to a quote that I heard the other day. And it was something along the lines of, just because there's no knowledge of something's existence, it does not negate the fact that it exists. I freaking loved that. And I will say that it is a supposed quote by Jim Carey. And the reason why I say supposed is because I was watching a video of this channeler on YouTube. And maybe I can link the video somehow below in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. But I just found it super interesting. And this is one of the things that Jim Carrey's soul had said to her while she was channeling information from him, centered around like his disappearance and all of the hoopla that just happened there. But yeah, it's that quote. It says, I'll repeat it again. Just because there is no knowledge of something, it does not negate from its existence, which means it does not mean that it doesn't exist. And that's exactly like where your energy's at too. You know, just because other people don't know of it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's just the fact that they don't know. And you are really like starting to learn how to understand this yourself and understand them and where they're coming from. The fact that, you know, they don't know about it because you know, they don't understand. And so there's a certain amount of compassion that you're starting to kind of delve into too, and really not really holding it against anyone, but there's also that annoying factor. So it's very like this and that are true. You're very chatty too. I love it. I love how chatty you are in spirit. You have a very outgoing personality. It's very bright. It's very bubbly. I can see why I chose the aesthetics here for this reading as well. You know, the stained glass looking sun might be significant to you somehow. Red carnelian might be standing out to you. This is just a dyed crystal that looks like, you know, angel auric yellow. I just like it. It's pretty. It's shiny. Rainbow colors might be significant to you as well. But anyways, yeah, I digress a lot, actually. My apologies. But anyways, the ultimate goal here, I feel, especially with this Thinking Woman card coming out, is your experimentation and your studies are trying to alchemize a higher level of understanding for the people who are going to be reading your works, is basically the vibe. And I went ahead and pulled some tarot. I know I wasn't saying what I was doing, but there we go. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. We've got the King of Swords. And we've got the Page of Cups. It's kind of along the lines of what I just said as I was pulling the cards, really. With the Wheel of Fortune, it's kind of like your studies and what you're doing is going to bring an end to a certain cycle of illusion, you know, because of the fact that the Veiled card is out here. You're helping to break the illusion that is going on here on this planet. And you're doing this by actually studying and having facts to put behind it. And that's why the King of Swords here is showing up, holding that giant sword of truth, right? And this is going to bring the collective that look into your findings new information and new ways of being able to see the world around them with this Page of Cups here. It's going to help sensitize people and bring them into more awareness of what is actually behind the illusions that are happening before them. Once these guys' sensitivity is opened up to a whole nother plane of existence here, it's definitely going to bring in almost like this kind of emotional rebirth of the collective that studies your studies. You're also telling me, while I look at this Wheel of Fortune card, that some of the information that you are studying is the cycles of Earth, and it has something to do with the cycles of astronomy as well, and astrology. I know those are two very different things, but the study of both of those kind of cycles. And studying what happens in these veiled realms in accordance to what cycle is being played out. That's quite interesting. That was a lot of information there, so I hope I translated okay for you. But yeah, it's reaching that point where you're getting ready to like start pushing out some of this information, is what it's all boiling down to here. It's quite interesting because I looked at the bottom of the deck. There we go. And we've got the Crossroads card here. So that's leading me to think that perhaps you are at a crossroads at this point as to what I just spoke about. How you're getting ready to possibly push out some of this information. And however it comes out, it's going to lead you into this kind of energy. You know, there it is. This goes hand in hand with this card here, that Empress energy. But you are at a crossroads, and there's some decisions that need to be made. And with that, Spirit is saying to make sure, and you know how to do this, hold it within your heart space and listen to the silence that is within and follow where your heart is tugging the most, is what Spirit is saying. This is what's going to help you with this crossroads that you're reaching as far as how this information is going to come out. Because there, within the silence and within the studying of one's own heart space, it's going to give you that Ace of Swords. It's going to give you that answer as to how all of this is going to start being played out so that the money can flow in order to start this process of being able to help humanity and help those who are interested in studying your works. And I just heard a thank you in my mind's eye. You're welcome. Is that all we needed to do today? Well, all right. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, I absolutely love your energy. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing this with Spirit and I. And I am also very grateful for each and every one of you here on this channel who allowed the space for this message to come through for this beautiful and wonderful soul, this thinking woman. And until next time, I love you. Bye.